Hello and welcome to this week's edition of CTN Community Update. It's a prominent feature that winds its way through Coon Rapids. We're of course talking about the Mississippi River. A new report out evaluates the river quality between Lake Itasca and downtown Minneapolis, taking into account everything from the wildlife to the pollution. CTN's Jordan Rylance has details.
At the heart of Coon Rapids, the Mississippi River provides recreation, wildlife habitat, and drinking water throughout the country. Now, a recent study conducted by the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency has determined where action needs to be taken in order to protect the Mississippi here in Minnesota. The river is nearly pristine as it begins at Lake Itasca thanks to the forests, wetlands, and lakes that hold and filter the water flowing into the river. But south of St. Cloud, pollutants due to runoff, drainage, and tributaries begin to pour into the water and include sediment and bacteria that can make the water unsafe for swimming. By the time the river reaches St. Anthony Falls in Minneapolis, it no longer meets the river life or recreation standards. The study determined several ways to address the issues facing the Mississippi River. The addition of buffer strips would stop or capture soil runoff, filter water, and slow the velocity of water entering during heavy rains. Upgrading infrastructure by managing runoff in developed areas and ensuring sewage treatment and home septic systems work. And changing crop practices by optimizing manure use, adding living cover, using conservation tillage, and optimizing fertilizer use. Several projects are underway at the state and local levels to ensure that the upper Mississippi meets the standards for river life, recreation, fish consumption, and the 1.2 million Minnesotans who rely on the river for their drinking water. For CTN Community Update, I'm Jordan Rylance.
If you'd like to view the full report conducted by the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency, we have a link on our website, ctncoonrapids.com. The Visitor Center on the Brooklyn Park side of the Coon Rapids Dam is now open year-round. In the past, the Visitor Center reduced hours in the spring and fall and was closed in the winter. The center offers outdoor education and recreation programs for people of all ages, including a free family fun day every other Sunday. Visitors can also enjoy the center's exhibits featuring fish, reptiles, and amphibians. The DNR is hosting a dozen meetings across the state in the next month to get the public's input on the state's first ever deer management plan. The closest local meeting will take place on Thursday, February 9th from 6:30 to 9 p.m. at the Bunker Hills Activity Center. Meeting participants will be asked to provide feedback on the draft goals, including identifying any goals that may have been missed and providing feedback on how the DNR could best achieve each goal. The meetings continue into early March. The deer management plan is expected to be finished by the spring of 2018. The flu is hitting hard across parts of the state, and that has some local hospitals taking action to protect patients. This week, Alina announced it is restricting visitor guidelines at all of its hospitals. Children under 5 are asked not to visit patients, as well as anyone who is sick. Visitors who have a cough or sore throat are asked to wear a mask. The visitor restrictions apply at 13 Alina facilities, including Mercy Hospital in Coon Rapids and the Mercy Hospital campus in Fridley. This week, the Metro North Chamber of Commerce hosted a special meeting in Coon Rapids to discuss issues related to railroad safety.
For BNSF in particular, last year we had the lowest mainline derailments ever in the history of our company.
Elected officials and city staff from Ramsey and Coon Rapids joined members of the Chamber of Commerce who listened to Burlington Northern Santa Fe spokesperson Amy Macbeth talk about the economic impact of rail in Minnesota. In the last 4 years, BNSF has spent more than $700 million to upgrade their infrastructure and are planning to spend another $85 million this year. They also emphasized safety measures like track inspections and doing hazmat training with first responders.
This event was really geared towards getting those stakeholders involved who are first and foremost on the front lines, if you will, on rail issues. So we invited the city elected officials, the state representatives, police and fire, and then they will take this information and then bring it back to their constituencies.
Those in attendance also heard from a lobbyist with the Minnesota Regional Railroads Association, who talked about some of the legislative issues they're working on down at the state capitol. A big boost this week for a safety improvement project at a busy and dangerous intersection in Anoka. The city has been awarded $7 million in federal funds for safety improvements in the area of Highway 10 and Fair Oak Avenue. The upgrades include the construction of an underpass at Fair Oak, along with the extension of West Main Street and interchange improvements. The entire project is expected to cost more than $33 million. The city will continue to look at other funding options to move the project forward. The original Herb Brooks statue will soon find a new home in the North Metro. The Herb Brooks Foundation recently announced it's donating the 6-foot-tall statue to the National Sports Center, where it will be located at the entrance to the Schwann Super Rink. The original statue in Rice Park in St. Paul was recently replaced by a larger statue of the hockey icon. Brooks actively promoted the development of the National Sports Center as a member of the Minnesota Amateur Sports Commission. An installation date has not been set. The Minnesota Amateur Sports Commission and the Metropolitan Airports Commission have reached a 30-year lease agreement for 49 acres of multi-use fields just east of the National Sports Center. The parcel, next to the Schwann Super Rink parking lot, includes 10 multi-use fields and 4 softball fields. The Blaine Soccer Club has been the primary user of the fields. The fields will also be used for several tournaments, including the Schwann's USA Cup in the summer. The Coon Rapids Snowflake Days celebration is in full swing, and there's something special for kids this weekend. A children's carnival will take place Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Eisenhower Elementary. In addition to carnival games, prizes, and crafts, there will be a free magic show at noon. Then on Sunday, February 12th, everyone is invited to Family Fun Day at the Coon Rapids Ice Center from 3 to 7:30 p.m. There will be lots of activities, including skating, spin art, face painting, and more. For a complete list of all the Snowflake Days events, check out our CTN informational channel or our website. Before we go today, I want to quickly remind you that the next dessert and coffee concert is coming up next week. It's taking place Thursday, February 9th. Kenny and Rick will take the stage in the Civic Center at 7 p.m. They play classic rock, blues, and country. So get out there and attend if you can. Well, that's going to do it for our show this week. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here again next week.